You got to be good actors to be good play action pass people, and so I think you got to be able to sell different routes, and get to the same spot, making it look as if you were trying to block somebody. I think the mistake a lot of people make is they make play action pass a separate play. If you do whatever protection you're using, we add the term play action pass, and we're going to do the same protection. It might be low hat. We sell low hat. Offensive linemen don't like the low hat. They prefer to do drop back pass protection. But you just have to work it. And again, when you see our clips, some guys are better than others. Some guys are more comfortable attacking and then going into a pass protection. Some guys are very uncomfortable and they don't do it. And I don't think it's the end of the world, but again, from a defensive standpoint, the more people coming out at us, the more we're going to react to run. And that's really a key thing to making the play action pass work. Point number 4 is we try to just design pass patterns that get us several things. We want to, if we can't get one-on-one, which is our first goal, as I've already mentioned, then we're going to try to go high-low on the free safety and create some kind of a high-low read on the free safety where somebody's at about 12 to 14 yards and somebody's going deep past him. You might want to go high-low on an inside backer or an outside backer, which is pretty much what you do on your drop back game. And so again, we want it to be the same reads for our quarterbacks. We want it to be the same basic areas that we're getting to for the receivers. And we want to, again, we want to simplify our play action game by not doing anything that's necessarily different from what we do in our drop back, our 3-step, our sprint out, or whatever passing attack that you're using. The routes we like are slants, quick slants. Work real well behind the motion or with the motion. Again, we think that's a good route. We like the post route, and we work real hard on running the post route. Again, understanding that it's going to be a little bit deeper. Double move might be useful, and if we can get one-on-one, that the receiver's responsibility is to get that defender turned and then get to the area that we want him to be at. Post corner is a good complement to that. So obviously, if you're hurting people with the post, the ability to throw the post corner is the complementary route. So we want to be able to hit them deep across the middle, or to go ahead and hit them deep across the middle on a post corner. And so actually, we're throwing the ball outside. We also like the vertical goes. So you're getting a tight end on a vertical go, or getting a receiver or running back on a vertical go, and pretty much trying to hit both the numbers and the hash marks, just like you would if you're dropping back on a vertical route. Maybe we only hit one number and one hash. Maybe we get 3 guys out, 4 guys out, 1 guy out. It really doesn't matter. The whole idea is vertical go or vertical stops. And so those are the route combinations that we've found to be very, very effective. And you can, again, however, I'm not thinking I have to sit here and draw up routes time after time, because I think that, as you'll see on our clips, it's certainly what we're trying to do is find out how the defense is going to react, and we want to take advantage of their ability to not get pressure on the quarterback. We want to try to get some one-on-one situations, and we have several different ways that we do that, and these are basically our basic combination routes or man routes. So hopefully you've gotten something out of this. We'll go ahead and show some drills we're going to do, and we'll put some clips on. But the ability to run the ball effectively, in my opinion, should make a very, very strong passing game. The perimeter drill, what we want to work on is the sweeps, and then we also want to be good enough fakers to go ahead and fool them if it's a play action pass. Let's move you over to inside backer. You be outside backer. You be the corner. Back up about 8 yards, Josh. I'll be the safety. Everybody run to the sweep or stop the sweep. Yeah.
Line, right. Set, go.
Good. So again, in this drill, what we want to do is run the play, run the ball as hard as we can, but also get real good at selling the fakes, so that when we do play action pass and whatever route we run, we're able to sell it, get there, and the quarterback and everybody has to fake out the defense. So that would be our perimeter drill. We want to work now on the play action pass and the depth of the quarterback. We want to vary the launch point, And the first one we want to do is just a regular 3-step drop. And so if we just snap the ball like normal on a 3-step drop, go ahead and just, I mean, everybody in the country is doing something like that. We want to time our routes up, but we also now want to add the sweep fake. In going to his, which way are you going now, to your right? He's going to take 2 steps. So he'll fake the sweep, take 2 steps, 1, 2, and he'll come around and throw. If the sweeper was coming the other way, if I were the sweeper, okay, he'd want to take 1, 2, and throw. So he just changes the feet based on which direction the sweeper is coming from. But by him turning, that counts as step 1 on a 3-step drop. Then he's going to take 2 quick steps. He may have to hitch and then throw the ball. All the routes are going to be designed to be run at 5 to 7 steps, depending, again, like I talked about, on the timing of the route and each quarterback and receiver. So let's go ahead and do a 3-step drop.
Ready. Set, go.
A little easier going to the right for a right-handed quarterback, but again, that's one way to vary the launch point. All right, let's go ahead now and go 5 steps. Yeah, just get a receiver out there and we'll just catch the ball. All right, we'll go 5-step drop now, Tyler. And when you're going to when he's going to his right, he starts with his right foot. When he turns to his left, he's going to start to count with his right foot. Okay? Again, we're trying to get 5 quick steps afterwards, and we want to get to a depth of about 7 yards. Okay? Much as if we were just going to drop back. The only difference is we're going to have a fly fake. So instead of 3-step, now we're going to go 5-step. Here we go.
Ready. Set, go.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Gets those 7 yards. Throw the football. The next step will be what we would call, he's going to go ahead and roll out away from the sweep. Okay, so some teams call it a waggle or a bootleg or whatever, but he's going to go ahead and we try to apex at about 9 yards and try to attack the line of scrimmage as we come around. And we're going to throw the ball from the quick tackle, our quick tackle, outside to the receiver. So it would look something like this.
Ready. Set, go.
And so again, varying the launch point, 3-step, 5-step, away from motion. And then the last one we probably would do would be with motion. So I'll get on this side. He's going to be going that way.
Ready. Set, go.
One of the things we talked about is double moves. We have to come out and work the timing, because a quarterback, when he fakes and takes 5 steps, it's going to be a little bit longer drop than it's going to be if he just took a 5-step drop. So we're going to have a sweeper going through here, and then our wide receiver is going to run a double move. Okay, so in this case, he's going to run a stop, go, stop. His depth, he wants to get to about 16 yards. And again, we would go up in the preseason and just work the timing to make sure that they end up in the right spot. Okay. Maybe it's going to be 14 yards, depending on how quick he gets back and how fast the receiver is. So we're going to go ahead and just kind of give you an idea of how we time this up. All right, here we go, Brett. You ready?
Ready. Set, go.
Good deal. Okay, and this one, we're going to go ahead, add the backs. Now we're going to go ahead and practice our crossbuck play. And again, this will slow the quarterback down just a tad more. And so, again, our receiver's got time to make 2 moves on this route. Here we go.
Ready. Set, go.
All right, one of the things we want to work on is we really want to work on stemming the route, meaning we want to make sure that we can head up this guy, this defensive back. Most defensive backs are going to play us inside because most of the time there is no safety. And as a result of there being no safety, they don't want to get beat. So we have to become very good at running the post route if we actually want to get to that middle area, or if we want to go ahead and set up the post corner. This is a fine defense to do it against. But the key thing for our receiver is to realize that he's got a long way to go. And so we'll kind of do this half speed, but as Brett comes off the line of scrimmage, he wants to try, as he backs up, to get head up. And once he gets head up, he wants to drive him deep. Go ahead, fake out, stem, and then beat him into the inside. If he doesn't get head up, we don't feel like we're going to have a very good opportunity of getting to the post. So let's go ahead and just jog through that, fellas. Greg, just give a little bit of back pedal, let him get head up, fight on the fake. Just go ahead, just ready, go. Get head up. And again, that's the key. Again, the second thing is if we're going to try to go to the middle area or middle 8 or area 8, it takes a long time for him to get there. So he doesn't want to look back too early. We want to run at least 20 yards before we look back. And then our quarterback's going to go ahead and take 5-step drop, maybe hitch, and then throw the football. So let's go ahead and run a play action post. Let's get motion. Let's go green light sweep. You got it, belly cue. We're in our split back offense with the motion man coming through. And the thing I want you to watch first is watch the sweep fake. As I run it backwards, you can see that there's 1, 2, a guy going in motion with our motion man, 3, and the safety, 4. We actually get 4 people lined up with the sweep. The other thing you'll notice is that there's not a lot of pressure because people are really worried about all of our runs and traps up the middle. So as a result, we just get a one-man pattern, and we're trying to beat if there is no safety in the middle of the field, so we go ahead and take a shot with downtown and try to hit the post. The thing I like about this is the quarterback throws it so that the receiver can catch it. He doesn't try for a perfect pass. The one thing I don't like about this, if you watch the quarterback's drop, it should be he's taking quite a few hitch steps, and I think he could have thrown that ball quite a bit earlier than he did. One of the problems we have is our quarterback hanging on to the football a little bit too long. We're in split backs, sweep fake going through, and here we cross the backs. And again, we marry our fake up with our pass protection, and although our quarterback's going to get hammered here, it certainly isn't because we don't have enough people. They blitz the read linebacker that we're looking at. What we're trying to do is go high-low read on the backside linebacker, who's the one that's blitzing. But the key thing is, again, a lot of people get lost with all the motion with the sweep, the belly, the counter. There's a good example of what we call our mesh drill, and which is really how you teach it. Sweep, belly, counter, quarterback drops back, finds a tight end, and again there's an opening there. So that's a good example of different types of play action passes and different ways of hitting the different areas on the field that I talked about in the beginning. This is the proper way to run a play-action pass, especially against man coverage. I'm not very happy at all with the fake by our fullback and our sweeper. They're not wingtip to wingtip. The fullback is jogging, and as a result, nobody really follows the fake as long as I think they should have. The deceptor or the other back is faking an inside run, and then he becomes part of the pass protection. But the key thing is that we're moving the safety with the motion out of the middle, and our wide receiver does a nice job of getting head up and what we call stemming the route. So meaning he wants to get up and then head up, fake out, and then get inside again, which actually puts the defender on, makes him fall down. The quarterback does a nice job of getting air on the ball. And again, our criticism of the quarterback, we probably want to get rid of it just a tad earlier. But again, I'm sure he's not feeling a lot of pressure, and he has a chance to get that ball out there for a big play. But the thing that makes this play so good is the route by the wide receiver. In fact, in where he stems the defensive back, gets upfield, and we really stress on the deep post pattern not to look for 20 yards. The mistake our guys have made in the past is they look too early, and that slows them down, and as a result, we don't get there as fast as we possibly could. All right, in this play, we're going to go ahead and fake the sweep. We get a nice fake around the corner with the sweeper slide stepping, getting the outside hip of the lead back. Sweep fake holds a lot of people. And then we're going to vary the launch point, as we talked about in our play action pass clip. Here the quarterback sees that he's not going to be able to get outside of the defensive end, and so he goes ahead and does what we call fills the void. I mean, he goes ahead and keeps attacking, keeps his head up, and then again we get a nice post corner move with the wide receiver, and the DB without safety help is basically one-on-one out there. So again, the idea of varying the launch point, moving the quarterback around, and not always throwing from the same spot. When you add that with the sweep fakes and the inside run fakes, makes it very effective for us. Yeah, we've certainly enjoyed sharing some of our thoughts on the play action pass with you, and how the fly offense creates some opportunities in the play action passing game. There's a lot of ways to skin a cat. This is just one of them. We certainly hope that there's something here you can use, and we appreciate sharing this with you. Thank you very much. My name is Mark Speckman. I'm the head football coach at Willamette University in Salem, Oregon. We're a Division III school located in the beautiful Northwest. We play in the great conference, the Northwest Conference, and we run the fly offense, and that's what our tape series has been focusing on. This tape, what I'd like to talk about are the drills and fundamentals that are unique to the fly offense. A lot of people, when they want to look at the offense or start thinking about putting the offense in, they certainly want to see all the things that are different from a normal offense. And the reality is that blocking is blocking, and taking a handoff is taking a handoff, and there's certain things that are fundamental to any offensive system. We don't think that there's anything that is too out of the ordinary that we do, but there are some drills and some play actions that happen that are quite unique. So that's what I really want to focus on. I'm not going to talk about some of the basics, a stance, for example. I don't really care if my running backs are in a three-point stance or a two-point stance. We do both. We have done both. I kind of leave that up to the back's discretion. I don't care if our linemen get in a right-handed stance if they're on the right side, and have to make them put into a left-handed stance if they're on the left side. Again, we get into the most comfortable stance, but that's what we do. I don't think that's the nuts and bolts or the magic of the system. So what we really want to focus on are things that we think are unique to this. However you're teaching, taking a handoff or taking a snap from the center, those things I don't think you need to be changed. If you're comfortable with them, it certainly isn't, there's no rules. That's the beautiful thing about this system. But there are a couple of drills that I want to show you that are important. So the first one would be, how do we teach the timing of the sweep motion? I've talked about this on our sweep tape, but I think it bears repeating. We've put our guy in motion. We've done it with a voice command or a foot command. It's really not critical how you get him going in motion, but you need to understand, if you want to hand this guy the football and get him around the corner in the fastest manner, I believe this is the fastest manner to do it. The first thing we talk about is the approach to the quarterback. How fast do you want to be going? We tell our guys you want to gradually work speed up. And so on approach, we want to be going just about full speed when we get to the quarterback, but we're not going to be quite full speed. Kid knows how to drive a stick shift. He's got to stay in fourth gear. He should be able to shift down into fifth, get a little bit more gas, a little more speed. It's like water skiing. You start out slow and the boat starts, and you kind of gradually work your speed up to full speed. And so the approach can be 3 steps, it can be 30 steps. We like a longer approach. We like our guys to take a good long run at it. But again, a lot of teams have had a lot of success with a very short approach. But the key thing is he should be 1 yard behind the quarterback, building speed as he goes. The second step of this would be with the mesh. The mesh is where the quarterback turns and hands the football. The key point to the mesh is we want the quarterback to turn his back to the defense. If he hides the football, the defense can't obviously see it, and therein lies one of the beauties of the offense. It's a built-in deception system. The quarterback should take a nice comfortable step. It's about 6 to 8 inches. He wants to clear the area so that the guards can pull behind him where people can move, but he doesn't want to step too long and make himself uncomfortable or take a long time to turn around. The key is to turn around quickly. The timing of the mesh is a quarterback's responsibility. If he turns and he waits, he's too early. If he turns and he's reaching, he's too late. And that's about all we tell our guys. We want to time it up, and they get the idea and show them start out slow and then build the speed up. After the mesh, the sweeper wants to do what's called a slide step. And a slide step is simply moving one body width away from the line of scrimmage. You don't want your sweeper to stay flat for 2 reasons. 1, the defensive line can reach across and make the tackle. And 2, you have to slow down to make your cut. And so at some point, if you're going east and west, you got to go north-south to score points. And so by a slide step, he's able, much like a guy who hits a double in baseball, you hit a single, you round that bag, and it's much faster not to make it a 90-degree angle, but to go ahead and round it. And that's what we're trying to do. So the third step of our progression, we call the slide step. Then the fourth step, we call the catch. And in the catch, we're trying to actually physically catch the lead back, the back that's offset over a guard or a tackle. We want to catch that guy. And by catching him, as you'll see in the drill, if we were running towards this sideline, I would want to be slightly outside of the lead back, and I would want to catch him with my inside arm on his outside hip. So let me repeat that. I would want my inside arm on his outside hip. And that's a mistake that I think a lot of teams make, is they get on the inside hip, and then the running back can only cut inside. We want to be able to be on the outside hip. And then the last thing we talk about is set up the block, meaning fake in, go out, fake out, go in. Once he gets out there in space, he has to have a plan. Too many guys get out there and they're just happy to get in the open. The good backs have a plan, and sometimes it's just a natural movement, but that's something I think needs to be taught. So to summarize on this drill, to teach the timing, we want to work on the approach, the mesh, the slide, the catch, and the set up the blocks. And we'll go ahead and show you this in the drill with our players in the gymnasium. Okay, the first thing we want to talk about is the quarterback footwork on the fly sweep. We call this a fly step. And what Tyler's going to do is we tell the quarterback to look at the sweeper, and then he's going to go ahead and turn his feet 180 degrees around. Now you can hop, you can step, however he feels comfortable. So I'll say fly step to the left, and he'll go ahead and execute that.
Set, go.
And he goes ahead and hops. He's a little bit high. Doesn't matter if you're high or low. I just tell him be comfortable. Come on back. Okay, fly step to the right. And again, his feet are going to turn 180 degrees as he goes.
Set, go.
And he turns ahead and hops. Now he's in position now to what we call a deal the cards. He can deal the cards at that position because his back is turned. He's getting enough depth away from the line of scrimmage so the guards can pull, and I think that's a critical component. One other thing he's doing a nice job of is go ahead and do it to your left again, please, Tyler, is that he's going to drop the ball and catch it every time he takes a snap. That's critical to the timing of the play because it really simulates a center snap. If your quarterback just holds the ball on the fly step, it's not as once you get a center there, it screws up your timing. So we have our quarterbacks always release and catch the ball as they go. Again, please.
Set, go.
Next thing we want to do is we want to teach the sweeper and the quarterback to work on the timing. So we want the sweeper to go ahead and we start out just going half speed. and it's really the quarterback's job to time it. All right? So just to get the feel of it, let's go half speed, please. Let's time one.
Ready. Set, go.
Very good. To me, it's up to the quarterback to time the sweep. It's his job to make sure that the snap is done on time. It is not the sweeper's job. The sweepers are to go. Let's go a little bit faster now, Brandon.
Ready. Set, go.
If the quarterback turns, go ahead, and he's waiting, we call that too early. If he turns and the guy's behind and he has to reach, we call that late. And that's about all the coaching we do with this. We tell our quarterbacks we want you to be 180 degrees turned when the sweeper goes by. And again, with the approach, with the approach of the sweeper, again, he's aiming a yard behind the quarterback. He's gaining speed as he goes, and once he gets there, it's the quarterback's job to time it. So what we want here is an approach and a mesh and a slide step. Approach, mesh, and slide step is what we're working on here. Again, the sweeper is going to work real hard on moving one body width. Go ahead and move one body width away from the line of scrimmage. Good job. All right, let's go ahead and do it from the side. What you want to look for is a slide step. We want to go ahead and add a couple of components. We want to work the timing, we want to work the approach, we want to work the mesh, the slide step, and now we want to do the catch. The catch, we want the sweeper, to get his inside arm on the outside hip of the fullback or the lead back. So Kevin, you're going to run your green light sweep path. You got to go ahead and run your green light sweep, and then we're going to go ahead and put somebody in a 3 technique, and his job at the snap of the ball is to come across and see if he can tag the sweeper. All right, here we go. Very good job. Again, we want to try to get wingtip to wingtip with our sweeper and our lead back. Here we go. And again, as fast as they can get around the corner, touch it, catch. The last step what we do is what we talked about, set up the block. And again, we had defenders out here. They'd be faking out, cutting up, faking in, going out. So that's really how we teach the timing, the catch, the mesh, all those components of the fly sweep. And again, I think that's what's really critical. Again, putting a guy in a 3 technique makes it very difficult for the sweepers to go slow. It makes them to take the proper slide step, and it's been extremely helpful for us. Next drill I want to talk about is the mesh drill. The mesh drill to us teaches the sweep timing, and now we go ahead and add the other running backs to the mix. As I've talked about in previous tapes, we teach our backs paths. And whatever path they run, we give it a name, and that kind of becomes the name of the play. And so what we want to do on this drill is we're going to set it up with the triangles that are colored in are cones, and they're about 10 yards downfield. The quarterback is facing the coach, and he has 2 running backs and a sweeper. The sweeper's going to go ahead and go in motion, so this is his approach, mesh, slide step, catch, and he's going to go ahead and set up his block out here. The key thing is he wants to run to this cone, which is 10 yards downfield. And he wants to get there as fast as he possibly can, selling the outside sweep. This back is going to go right off the sweeper, good timing. Again, part of the deception is the timing of this offense. And so he's going to run this path for us. This back is going to go ahead and we're going to get a crossing action in the backfield. He's going to run his path. So this guy, the sweeper goes first, he goes second, he goes third. Then the quarterback is going to go ahead and fake play action pass, bootleg, waggle, whatever you want to call. We like to start them out by running around a cone 9 yards behind, and that cone up here would be 9 yards behind the line of scrimmage. What we want to do here is teach several things. Obviously the timing. We want them to go as fast as they possibly can through this drill. And then we also want to work on the deception part. We want them to hide the football, to actually clamp their elbows when they're going through the line of scrimmage, and we call rock the baby, and then cut away from where the ball's going. So if the sweeper had the ball, we'd want both backs cutting away, because if they do fake somebody out, that's going to take them one more step away from where the football goes. Any one of these four guys can get the ball, the sweeper, either back, or the quarterback. And then the coaches here at linebacker depth, and what we do as coaches is we want to be faked out. We want to have the quarterback not let us see the football. And so the key to the drill is to fool the coach. If the coach can see the football, that's not a very good fake. If you really have a hard time finding the ball, guys do a pretty good job of hiding it. And then through repetition, the timing, the deception kind of becomes a built-in part of this. And then what you also teach with this drill is several different plays that you can run off of the fly offense. So we call this the mesh drill, and this is a drill that we do early in the season, and we do often in the season. And you can create lots of different plays. It doesn't have to just be these paths. Later on in the season, we'll do different paths. We'll have the quarterback fake different things. But it certainly does help create the mindset that we have to be deceptive, we have to be fast, and we have to time this up well. So we'll go ahead right now and show you what the mesh drill looks like as we run this in the gymnasium. This teaches paths, timing, and makes the guys work on their fakes. We're going to go ahead and get a sweep with the sweeper. The number 6 Q, raise your hand, he's running the belly. Number 3, Kevin's going to run the counter. And then our quarterback's going to work on his bootleg fake. The cones we want to make sure they run to the cones, because we have the ability to get the ball to all those different spots on the field. The key to this game, this little drill, is they got to fake me out, the wily veteran. And so what they got to do is they've got to, I'll turn my back, the quarterback will go ahead and point to who's supposed to get the ball. I'll turn back and I'll stand on the play side linebacker, and their job's to fake me out. Here we go.
Ready. Set, go.
Right there. Good job. What we're going to try to do here is have them fake us out. The key thing is the sweep, belly, counter, as fast as you can say it. Sweep, belly, counter. That's as fast as they should run through this drill. Any one of the 4 guys can get the football. And again, this is a drill that we do on a very regular basis, almost daily. When the back's fake, we really want them to, what we call rock the baby, grab their elbow, keep their eyes up, and look. And when they make a cut, to cut away from where the football's going. Sweeper's going to put the ball on his hip, or he's going to fake like he has it on his hip and go full speed. We'll go ahead and try one from this angle, and then we'll do one from another angle. Okay? Here we go.
Ready. Set, go.
Good. Again, the beauty of it is we got people all over the field and the ability to get the football to any of these guys. Let's go ahead and do it from the side view.
Ready. Set, go.
Next thing I want to talk about as far as drills go are a couple of blocking schemes that are a little bit unique to the fly offense. We're going to down block, drive block, pass block, every block that you're already doing in your offense. So I don't think there's anything necessarily magical about those, but I do think we do 2 things that are a little bit unique and important. So let me go over those. First one is the reach block. I think everybody does the reach block. And of course, the reach block is where you're trying to get, if the football was to my left over here, I'm trying to reach block a guy here and get outside of him. It's a very difficult block because really the defender has the advantage. Now, if the football's over here and I'm blocking down and the ball's going that way, I have the advantage because I have the angle. But if he's outside of me and I have to reach around him and block him, he should have the advantage. So we've worked real hard on this, and we think you have to work very, very hard on this in our offense. The reach block's a big part of it because we are such an outside running team. Oftentimes we're asking our tackles and our tight ends and our slot receivers to reach block. And so we have some trigger terms we use, and I'm a big believer in trigger terms, meaning you take every action and break it down into very teachable names. And so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to teach about is stepping. And stepping, so the first word we use in the reach block is step. And what we want to do is we want to mirror the technique of the defense. So what I mean by that is I use this chair as a defender. If he's tight to me, my step is going to be to his outside armpit. And I want to gain ground as I make the step. If he's wider, then I want to go ahead and take a wider step and mirror how far away he is from me. If he's right on top of me, it's a shorter step. If he's wider, it's a wider step. So that's our first thing we say, is we say step. The second thing we talk about is rip. And what we want to do is we want to rip our arm that's closest to the football to the far armpit of the defender. It's not a very strong move. We want to step, rip, and we don't say place or we don't say touch. We say rip because we want to emphasize the violence of the move. And then the third step we talk about is step, rip, and then run. We want to run around as if there was a pole right outside of that defender's foot. We want to run around it. And then the last thing we say is close. So the 4 teaching points on a reach block: step, rip, run, close. And this will make a lot more sense when we get to show you some players working this technique. All right, one of the things we talk about when we want to reach block is we cut it down into 4 terms. It's step, rip, run, and close. And so the first thing we do is we just practice the first step. The step part is going to mirror the technique of the defender. In this case, we have a wider defender, so his foot is going to mirror. He's going to step a little bit more laterally. He's always going to try to get upfield, but he's going to take a wide step because he's going to have to get on his horse to reach this guy. So let's go ahead and we'll just do the step here, Morgan. Ready? Step. Right there. Go back. Step. Go back. All right, tighten up a little bit, Nate. No, I'm inside. There you go. All right, now that he's a little bit tighter, his foot, he can get a little bit more upfield, and he doesn't have to step quite as wide. Here we go. Ready? Step. Good. Come back. Step. Stop. If he oversteps, like if he steps too far, it's awful easy for us to lose the person inside. That's why it's real important that you step to the technique. The next thing we'll do is we'll add the rip. So the rip is going to be Morgan's left arm trying to get across the body to the armpit. So we'll go step, rip, and place the arm. Go back. Step, rip, go back. Now obviously when he's in the rip for position, that is the weakest position you can be in. So what you have to do is run. You have to get yourself out of that position. We want to try and get our body around. So let's go ahead and go step, rip, run. Come around. And then the last thing we talk about will be close, which is where he gets his butt around. So here we go. Let's put all just in my cadence. Here we go. Ready? Step, rip, run, close. And that's a reach block for us. Okay, let's put it together full speed, although no contact, men. Here we go. Ready? I'll just say set, go, okay, Morgan? Ready, set, go. Step. Very good. Step, rip, run, close. That's the steps we take on our reach block. Let's get a little bit wider here. One more time. Make sure you don't trip on that thing, that'd be. Ready, set, go. And again, our guys have great confidence. They can reach you no matter if you're lined up tight, wide. It's an attitude. And the techniques we use are the ones that we just talked about. The next thing we want to talk about is track blocking. Our basic way of blocking the sweep is to run what we call a track. And so in this case, the ball's going in this direction. We're having our linemen track. And that means we're going to try and get around the defensive players on the line of scrimmage. We call that level 1. And get to the defenders at the next level, which would be the linebackers. We call them level 2. The thing about track blocking, and the reason we call it track, is just like a railroad track. If you get on the track and the train's coming, the train's going to hit you. So the term track tells the linemen, and it also tells our backs because we put them on tracks on the sweep, is if somebody gets on your track, don't run past them. You got to hit them, just like a train's going to hit a car that gets on the track in an opportune time. But our goal on the track is to quickly move from level 1 to level 2. And once we get to level 2, if this is the defender, we really try to give them an aiming point. And for us, the aiming point is the triangle at the armpit to the breast and up. That's really where we're trying to get our hands. That's where we're trying to get our eyes. That's really where we're trying to get. If we can get to that position and work our butt around to the football, we think we have a good block. And so again, our tracking is a unique drill, and we work this very hard. And we'll go ahead now and get in the gymnasium and show you what that drill looks like. Track blocking for us is, number 6 is going to be a movable human cone and simulating a 3 technique. We want to track around and get to the linebacker. And what we want to do is we want to really concentrate on the position that he's going to get on the defender, which is going to be to the armpit closest to the upfield armpit, or the armpit closest to the ball, or where the ball is going. So let's go ahead, Nate, and let's go half speed and get into position and just hold it. Here we go. Set, go. Out and pause right there. Now you can see his hands go to the triangle and his butt swinging around. If the defender tries to come inside, we just run him down the line of scrimmage. Let's go back. If the defender tries to go over the top and we're in proper position, we just keep working down. And so that's a critical part of the track. And that's the position that we want, is for that play side armpit. That's our aiming point. So now what we'll do is we'll go ahead and have the guard, the center, and the other guard track. Let's go ahead and kind of stay stationary, linebackers, for the time being. Here we go. We're going to track to level 2. Just step and get there. Again, we have the 5-yard rule. We really don't want them going downfield further than 5 yards. Now, one of the things that will happen is perhaps that linebacker may take off. And so, as we said before, if one linebacker leaves, we want him to turn and find somebody else, because if you miss one linebacker, somebody else will be running. So let's go ahead and show you how that would look. John, go ahead and react.
Ready. Set, go.
And again, they're going to set up a wall, pick everybody else off as they come, and that again is our track block on our sweep play, which is one of the unique things about the offense. Last thing on the track